On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Sometimes they're unjust.
Like what? What's an unjust crime?
What I just said. One thing is assault. More black men get convicted than everybody else. And when I'm not talking about sexual assault, like even like fighting. Like if they get in a fight with somebody, then they're more likely.
They shouldn't be convicted of assault if they fighting.
Exactly, but they still get convicted. 85%.
If they're fighting, then aren't they assaulting?
I don't know why they fighting. I don't fight.
But if they're fighting, then they're assaulting someone. So that's why they would get convicted.
But it's not both sides. It's not both sides getting convicted. That's what I'm saying. Like if you're fighting.
But the difference between a bad guy and a good guy is a bad guy is going to let his emotions and his lack of self-control allow him to be fighting with someone. A good guy is going to take it on the chin and go the fuck home regardless of the situation because I have shit to lose. So I'm not about to be out here fighting. Right?
Okay, Kayla.
We've been talking about that on the show forever. That you think you deserve one that can cook and clean and do all this thing, come to your door barefoot and pregnant and all this stuff. But then you just did a whole dissertation about how you were a bad guy. You were not a good guy. So can you change for whatever reason it may be? Are you going to be able to change to deserve that kind of woman, or are you going to stay the bad guy?
Can I finish my statement?
You can answer my question. You can do that.
How you gonna cut me? All right, you're right, Kayla. I'm a question.
But what makes you be able to deserve a good man too? In the same token, we talking about bad men and stuff. What makes you think that you deserve a good man?
I'm not a bad girl. Never was.
Well, what do you say is a bad girl? So. I mean, at the same time,
we were talking about bad men. We were talking about men like Fabulous. That was the standard of the conversation.
Okay. So
like Fabulous were what? Drug dealers,
Kayla wanted to Mel. Watch this,
so
Mel.
Hold on. These are the qualities that we're talking about when we use Fabulous as the example for this argument, and how he's a bad guy. Why is he a bad guy? Because he does illegal activity, allegedly. Narcotics, allegedly, domestic violence, allegedly. I can't identify with any of those things.
Okay, but at the same token, you still didn't
try to flip it and say, "Oh, Kayla, how do you know you're a bad girl?"
I didn't say.
I'm not. But we're not.
No.
That's not topic. Which is
Kayla. That's not what I said. I said, what are you doing that makes you think that you're deserving of a good man? I'm not saying nobody that beats you or anything like that, because a bad man could just be somebody that doesn't work, doesn't bring money to the household. It doesn't have to necessarily be nobody that beats you.
But that wasn't the premise, though. We were speaking as
I just asked the question. I just asked the question.
Yeah, that question was not like topical though to the premise.
You're right.
JR said he wasn't speaking to Fabulous. He said it was brought upon the question.
Okay, well, that's the judgment that I'm making.
No,
saying bad. That is the context that I am using.
Wait, because you know what?
That's the context I'm using logic for bad.
No.
People who do illegal activity, people who abuse women.
That was an example.
Narcotics.
This is the question we're talking about that's floating across the
Again, you can define bad however you want.
Family.
That's how I'm
Let's
defining
get it together, y'all.
So that's your version of bad. So if you have somebody that say necessarily it's not beating on your head, that's not doing anything that's illegal or anything like that, that's a good man to you.
Better, it's on the good man's side. Yes, definitely on the side of good.
That do PPE scams.
How old are you, Kayla? If you don't mind me asking,
on the side of good versus the side of bad. That's not
wait. Who heard her say she likes
to create these whole other scenarios. We're moving the goalposts away from the topic. Now we want to redefine what bad is. Like, please. No one had a question about what bad is this entire conversation.
I was about to ask you what is bad. And you already answered the question. You said what you thought what bad was. So if they're not doing that,
and I'm not doing that, so there's no comparison.
So Kayla, let me ask you this question, if you don't mind. How old are you?
I'm 31.
You're 31, and that's your definition of bad.
Those are the major things that have enabled our community: jail, crime, violence. These are major issues in our community. So tell me, the other bad guy that may have said some bad shit, or I don't know, whatever else. That's bad. That's bad. He came home late, or whatever. He went out with the boys too long. Whatever. Bad man. These bad things are really fucking bad. They're the priority of bad. So I don't really think it's a discussion on, well, what else is considered? Are those the only things that make you bad? Those are the important things.
Those are important to you, though.
If we could get a lot of men off of those things, and if we had just those other bad issues, I'm sure we'd be in a lot better position. If the bad was I mean, come on.
I mean, that's possible, but I mean, that's like you said, that's opinionated though at the same time, because it's more than that. That like,
so what's your definition of bad? Like, what if those things are too bad? What is bad then for a bad man? A guy he lied about. I mean, where are we at with it?
I mean, at the end of the day, like for me, for the most part,
we'll talk about
that later. That's another topic.
I want to say this different thing.
She can't answer my question. What is the problem?
No,
you literally just
I'll answer.
Okay.
You answer after after
why? Why would we go ahead? Just answer. Logic can wait.
Hold on, Ice.
So you want me to go? Mm-hmm. So my definition of bad is, like you said, well, with narcotics, it depends on what it is. Because I don't mind you smoking marijuana. Does not bother me at all. I don't want you to be a pillhead or nothing like that. I don't want you hitting me upside my head and we fighting in here every day. And I want you to actually come home and take care of home. But everybody's taking care of home is different. See, my thing is like, it's not like what time you come in or anything like that. I don't care about none of that. But if our household is straight and we got the same morals and values, then I'm good.
No, but that isn't answer the question. I said, what is your definition of a bad man? If it isn't the crime, narcotics, and violence that I spoke on, what is your definition of a bad man?
I won't say, but see, you say crime, but I won't say crime the same way, because a lot of our men, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, we get more black men get convicted of bullshit than we think they do.
Right, but you still put your
what do they get convicted of? That's BS.
But the people that are usually getting falsely convicted are
no. She said they get convicted of BS. What do they get convicted of?
I have a police officer in the house, so they get more convicted, 85% more convicted of assault, even if it's mutual. They get more convicted if they only have like remnants of, say, like marijuana in their car.
So you basing it off of how other people, you comparing it to other people's convictions, and you saying they're getting convicted of BS.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying more so when she said crime. So it depends on the level of the crime. Like if you killed somebody or something crazy or assaulted, domestic violence, anything like that, I don't want no parts. But
so certain crimes is
man that's doing
Kayla, hold on, Kayla. So certain crimes are acceptable though, right?
I'm not saying they're acceptable. Sometimes they're unjust.
Like what? What's an unjust crime?
What I just said. One thing is assault. More black men get convicted than everybody else. And when I'm not talking about sexual assault, like even like fighting. Like if they get in a fight with somebody, then they're more likely.
They shouldn't be convicted of assault if they fighting.
Exactly, but they still get convicted. 85%.
If they're fighting, then aren't they assaulting?
I don't know why they fighting. I don't fight.
But if they're fighting, then they're assaulting someone. So that's why they would get convicted.
But it's not both sides. It's not both sides getting convicted. That's what I'm saying. Like if you're fighting.
But the difference between a bad guy and a good guy is a bad guy is going to let his emotions and his lack of self-control allow him to be fighting with someone. A good guy is going to take it on the chin and go the fuck home regardless of the situation, because I have shit to lose. So I'm not about to be out here fighting.